the kind of wear it tight. Button up from 9 to 5. I tried that life but said goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I get the job done. Who says the world can never be fun? I'm simply unprofessional. Simply unprofessional. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Simply Unprofessional. I'm your host, Webby. Joining me tonight, we got Devin.
What's up, Devin in the house?
And we got special guest Donnie joining us tonight.
Super special. I'm here.
Super Saiyan
Give it up for
special.
Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri finally joins us.
Yep, I'm out. Bye, guys. Good session.
Nope, get back in here. You're not allowed to leave.
I came back.
That's good. So, all right, Devin, we have a couple backup ideas anyway, but I wanted to talk about something to start, and God knows how long that's going to take. So it might just be this episode might just be you guys trying to educate me a little bit more.
Judging how we've been trying to start this episode for the past like 45 minutes and been ranting about everything else under the sun, it's going to be one of those episodes.
Yeah, probably. So I'm going to put my little top five least favorite list off to the side here, just in case.
It's top five least favorite.
Okay, so there's talks, and whether or not this happens, who the fuck knows? Because I've been, excited. I've been duped. I've been super excited about other games, and then they just never happen. They fall to the wayside because we get busy or whatever the reasoning. But there has been speculation that's, whether it be recorded for a podcast or just strictly for fun, that there might be a Pokemanz game happening.
Good old Pokemanz.
Now, as all the listeners out there know, and especially based off of the way that I say Pokemanz, I'm a Pokemanz master. Okay?
That's true.
I know everything there is to know, but let's pretend, Devin and Donnie, for just this episode,
that you are.
That I don't know anything about Pokemanz.
Okay.
But I want you to teach me about Pokemanz.
Not this episode.
Okay.
So, this Pokemon game. Okay. What system does it run off of?
Pokemon Tabletop United version 1.05. Woo woo.
Pokemanz Tabletop United. Okay.
Yes. The series consists of the Pokemon Tabletop Adventures. Woo woo woo.
Now, I've had to deal with a week-long reading in our vampire chat on Facebook about this game.
To be fair, it's like a vampire D&D-ish.
No.
Look, that is my homies chat, Webby. I've taken it. It's the homies chat.
It's the chatting with
pretty much turned into
that. So,
because that game is so good that we've all bonded so well that's my BFF chat now.
All right, then you guys need to go and relabel it or rename it, and it can't be just strictly the vampire chat anymore. Don't do that.
Chat with the homies.
Well, I mean, as long as it still stays vampire chat.
No, I've thought about saying something because I feel like it does kind of bother you that way to that, but
I mean, I'd prefer you guys talking in that and then me trying to catch up reading what I can than making a whole new fucking group for it. Because, god damn, I'm tired of all the millions of groups on Facebook. But in any case, so this game, is it a lot like the Pokemanz games on like Game Boy and like the show where you have a starter Pokemon, right, that you got to pick? You start with one, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is where, let's see. Get my notepad here. I'm going to take some notes.
You have to start with a Pikachu.
No, I'm not starting with a fucking Pikachu.
Hi, I'm crashing the episode, by the way.
We have an Edquist again.
He is
Probably
eating while
live-
he's crashing the episode. So
live
Kurt,
from
that's all
work.
for you, man. Go for it.
Yeah, Kurt, you need to rip Edquist a new one for eating on the episode
Well-
while working.
I'm on my lunch break at work, so.
Some bullshit. Okay, so you start with one Pokeman's.
Yep.
Now, are there specific starters, like I know in like the cartoon or in the original game, your starters were like Charmander, the Bulbasaur one. I don't know if that was the baby one or not.
Yeah.
Squirtle.
Look at you. Perfect score. Clean sweep, baby.
And then I don't believe that in the game you couldn't start with Pikachu because that was Ashes, right?
And Pokemon Yellow, you could.
And Yellow,
Okay.
Yeah.
which is the version I owned.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you can get all the starters, the regular starters.
Okay. So
Pokemon Yellow was red. You played as red. The main character you were was actually red. If I'm not mistaken, right?
Is there a series for Red?
Anime show?
Yeah.
No, he shows them in Generations.
Oh,
Yes.
I can get with that.
now, in this tabletop game, we're not limited. We don't have to start with starter ones, correct?
No, I mean the book recommends. They give you a list of starters in the book. It recommends, but you don't necessarily have to
Okay.
do so at
Okay.
all. So I don't believe we are in our game.
Now, I had been talking to Austin,
Yes.
and one of the things that popped up in our conversation today, he had asked me which Pokemans I kind of wanted, and I told him, what we'd been talking about yesterday, and kind of the theme that I was gonna go with a few oddball exceptions. Like I kind of want a Cubone, just because ever since Donnie said he's literally a lonely type of Pokemon, which it says lonely on his thing, I kind of want him just so he's not lonely anymore. I got a soft heart. Now, one of the things that me and Austin talked about was he had mentioned something about finding me a 3-stage starter. And I asked him, I was like, well, does it have to be a 3-stage? And he said it didn't have to be because he knows which one I want to start with. But apparently the one that I want to start with is only a 2-stage evolution or something. Now, what is the benefits and drawbacks of starting with a 2-stage versus a 3-stage?
The most important benefit is their base stats will be higher than the rest of the parties because they'll evolve to their second stage, and that'll be their final stage. Typically, it'll be higher.
Yeah, I mean, so looking at the book here,
So the 2 stages are stronger?
they start off stronger, but usually you like to balance that out. The 2 stages, like there are some 2 stages that's not true. Like for instance, you have Rattata and Raticate, but when you're talking about they bitch ass.
Basically, what we're saying is their second stage of a 2-stager is typically going to be stronger than the second stage of a 3-stager.
Yes,
Typically, not always, like you said, but
Right,
Not always.
but the 3rd stage of a 3-stage person is going to be stronger
Well-
than the final evolution of a 2-stage
No.
person.
not always.
No, usually usually in most situations, like the 2-stage ones are going to be around. If they're a decent Pokemon, they're going to be around the same strength as when they hit second stage. You're going to be around the same strength as a 3rd stage 3-stager. If that makes sense.
Okay, now RPG-wise, because this is a tabletop game, Austin did explain to me that if I chose a 2-stage evolution Pokemon, that I would not be evolving at the same time as, say the rest of you guys who have 3-stage ones.
That's usually true. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm at that point, if you guys were to evolve to your second stage ones would be more powerful than my 1st stage one.
No.
How will I am I going to be
So-
falling behind essentially.
No, not real. Okay, so like I'm trying to give you a really good example right here. I'm trying to look for an example exactly what I'm looking for. But to give you an idea, in most cases, no. And if so, it won't be by any amount that's really much like that much, because your Pokemon's still going to level up. So you're still going to be giving it improved stats as it levels and things like that. So like here, a good example would be like Panseer and Simseer, the fire monkey dude. Like, so he's a second stage evolution, and his stats are 8, 10, 6, 10, 6, 10. Right? Jumping back to the very beginning of the game here, jumping to, let's say, Venusaur. 8, 8, 8, 10, 10, 8. So he's not that much weaker than a Venusaur. The thing is, Venusaur will level up at level 30. He will level up actually a little bit, I think, later, actually. So yeah, it really all depends. Like, sometimes you have those 2-stage Pokemons that level up super late. And usually if they're stronger, it's super late. Like Donnie was looking at Dratini, he's a 3-stage, but Dragonite levels up at level 50. Where Charmander becomes Charizard at level 30. Charmander, then Charmeleon, and then Charizard. So it really all depends on your Pokemon. Like, I know what Pokemon you were thinking of. And he wouldn't be like, I'm going to compare him with a third one that was on my list. And I'll tell you, like, Donnie, you got some paper? Webby, somebody got some paper?
I got paper, yep.
I know you don't have paper, Rob, so I don't even ask you anymore. Inside distractions joke, people. Anyway, Webby, write down in this order: 9, 12, 8, 7, 7, 6.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm gonna go pull up a Pokemon. Actually,
Now,
no,
is
I
that
can
the
see
starter? Is that the starting stats for the one that you know that I want?
That's the final evolution stats for the one that you want.
Oh,
That's the base stats of the final evolution of the one that you want. I'm doing that for a reason though, but I'm about to just do some math real quick here.
those stats really don't look all that outstanding to me.
They're not bad. Write
Well,
down
they're-
4. Add those all together: 9, 12, 8, 7, 7, 6. It's 49. Put 49 there. Oh, you a drink? 49.
Okay.
Write that down.
Yep.
Then I want you to write down. You know what? That's a 2-stage. That's gonna work. Okay, really? Now you 2 drinks. Stop calling me. You're fine. You're in the
2
hospital.
drinks and a
What did
box
you-
of chicken in the biscuit
What do you want
crackers.
from me? You're in the hospital. What could you possibly want from me? I know that sounds really bad on paper, people, but you know my life. All right. Webby, write down these stats in a separate column.
Okay.
Ready? 8, 12, 7, 11, 7, 8.
Whoa, hold on. 8, 12.
7,
Yep.
11, 7, 8.
Okay.
So let me see. 8. 8. So that's only a 4-point difference for those stats to kick in. It's only those add up to 53. So total stats is only a 4-point difference. So you're not going to be that far off. Pretty much what I've learned pretty much in this game about this game is pretty much any Pokemon is going to be is viable. You can use any Pokemon that's viable. And they pretty much all are. So you don't have to worry too much about that. So you're not going to be gimping yourself by going a 2. You're
Yeah,
not
so
gonna be gimping
basically that
yourself by going
4-point
a 3.
difference, you have to think that every time that Pokemon levels up, you're adding more stats too. And that'll
Right.
be baseline for every Pokemon you level up.
Right.
So that 4
And then
points
your
is
difference
really not
between-
going to be a whole lot by the time they hit.
Not at all. Not at all. Especially, and it all depends on too how you want to fight. Like if you want to fight as a, let's say you just want to be like a super specialist. So you specialize like, for instance, going back to your boy, who I know you want. So I'm just gonna go back and I'm not saying the name because I know I'm gonna keep it secret. But going back to your boy over here, as soon as I get to him, Jesus Christ, this scroll.
I mean,
is killing
anybody
me.
who listens to this fucking
Continue to
podcast
guess.
and
Continue to
knows
guess.
Pokemans, you could probably guess who I want.
Yeah. So, like for instance, his attack is a 12. Like in his final form, he first off levels up then the third stage, you would hit that level 5 levels earlier. So there would be a period of time where, for about 5 levels, it'll be a trade. A period of time for like 5 levels where you will be probably significantly stronger. While, if that's the Pokemon I end up with, would be catching up to you by 5 levels. So you're not going to be behind. And then also too, you can also stat because there's natures in this game. So like different natures affect stats. So you could like be like, say fuck defense. I'm just gonna put everything I have into attack. So you hit, like, it may take you a second to hit, but if you hit, you hurt. So I mean, it really just depends. You're not gonna be in a situation in this game where you're gonna be like outnumbered. Also too, Ray, we'll write this down. Separate column stats for you.
Okay.
7 plus 8 plus 6 plus 5 plus 5 plus 4.
7, 8, 6, 5, 5, 4.
Yep, 7, 8, 6, 5, 5, 4. And I'm trying to find what I'm looking for. And let me see. Do my math here.
It's 35.
Yep, that's 35. Do my math here. 5. So, like, see, the Pokemon I would start off with would have 32. So I would be 3 less than you from base stat. Like my level 1 form would be 3 less than you. So, yeah. So I mean, it's a balancing thing. At no point you're going to be too far lower than me, or I'm going to be too far higher than you, or anything like that. At no point.
Okay. Now, the basis of this game, I'm guessing, is we all go around and is the RPG tabletop game a lot like the video game where you have to go around and you have to beat gym leaders and earn badges?
The way Austin wants to run it, that's available to us, but I think he wants to focus more on a story and like the journey.
Yeah. So if you think of
we're
like
gonna
more
be like a
show,
D&D group with pets.
kind of, but if you think more like the show, don't think more of the game, think more like the show. Like you have the show, you have Ash, where he's the Pokemon trainer, gym fighter of the group. Then you have Brock trying to be a breeder. You have Misty trying to do what the fuck Misty was trying to do with her life. I don't know.
If anybody has answers to that question, please.
I've always wondered why 2 fucking gym leaders decided to follow a noob trainer.
Who's a gym leader?
Not Misty and Brock
Misty
are both
and
gym
Brock.
leaders.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And then they follow Ash, who's just this
After
And they
no-name
just
kid.
abandon their gym so no one else can get badges?
Yeah, that makes three gym leaders in that world that abandoned.
Well,
their
Missy has sisters, so it's good. And then
Brock,
it's really funny because Missy was the weakest one. And then I remember an episode where they call her to come fight because they all get fucked over and they can't win. And they're too weak. So they call her to come back and fight, and she comes back and wins. I think that's episode Staryu evolves into Starmie. Maybe.
Starmie's fucking dope in the show.
Starmie is dope. But
Yeah.
So you have 2 gym
Anyway.
leaders who just follow this no-name kid?
Yeah. Ash. No.
Pretty much.
Okay. I remember why Misty, besides being a thought, I remember why Misty was following around Ash. Yeah, she's 10 years old. Get over it. Anyway, was because he barbecued her bike. So she was following him until
Oh, yeah, that happened in like episode 1.
Yeah, she was following him until he paid her back for her bike, and then she just stayed. Or Ash remained to pay her back. One of the two. It's to be determined.
You don't discover that she's a gym leader until they go to the water gym, and her sisters are both like, "You have an electric Pokemon? Here, you win. Here's the badge." And she was like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna fight him."
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what happened. And yeah, whatever. Anyway, so that happened. Brock wants to be a breeder. Tracy wants to be a fucking photographer. You have
Who
that
the
other
fuck is
kid
Tracy now?
Tracy was that like kid with the headband. He popped up in Johto, I think.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I was gonna say I don't remember him from the original.
I don't remember.
He popped
I
up
don't
in
know
Johto or Kanto. But anyway, you have throughout all the show, then you have May later down the road who wants to be a fucking coordinator.
No, okay, I have a question. Since we're talking about characters in the show,
Yep.
Team Rocket,
What about him?
what is their purpose?
World domination.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Okay, so it's these two
Stealing
people.
Pokemon.
No,
these-
it's more than two people. It's a whole organization. Team Rocket's a whole organization. You just see possibly the two most inept people that work there.
By far.
So Team Rocket is an actual organization. We just get the Team Rocket rejects constantly.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Like, you have Giovanni, and you have a whole bunch of
just
people that work for Team
Giovanni.
Rocket that actually like do shit, and then you have Team Rocket, and they just fail at life.
And who's
Giovanni
the,
has
who,
one of
who's
the
the
best
chick?
fucking team setups.
Jesse and James.
Jesse. Yeah.
And Meowth.
Jesse, James. And Meowth, that's right.
Who's the only fucking
You're gonna do
who's
it.
the only Pokemans who can actually
Can
talk?
Yeah, he taught him. He's the only Meowth that can talk too. He taught himself to talk.
I mean, Mewtwo can talk too.
Well,
Psychically.
psychically.
I'm pretty sure he might move his mouth. I don't remember anymore.
He has balls for hands. He
Well,
he takes an L.
Hope you like dragon
well
types.
alright. Oh god damn it.
He has balls for hands.
So
he takes these L's.
Team Rocket
Team Sprocket, yeah.
wants to take over the world.
Yep. Same
Team
as Team
Magma.
Magma and all those other teams later down the road that want to take
Wow.
over the world too.
Okay, so a lot of these Pokemon people actually just want world domination.
Yeah, that's literally what they want.
And what does Ash want?
Ash wants to catch them all and fails miserably.
He wants to
He
catch
wants
every
to be the
Pokemon
very
and
best.
win the league.
He wants to be the very
Very best.
no
Funny story, I came into Discord thinking Devin was here singing that song. He
Every
wasn't.
fucking time I stepped away to get a cup of coffee, and as soon I'm like, I messaged him like 20, 30 minutes prior. I'm like, hey, I'm in SU, and I was sitting in SU, muted, but I was in SU the whole time. I'm like, well, nobody's here. I'm gonna get some coffee. As soon as I walk away, I hear my phone go off, and he's just like, well, I came in singing Pokemon. You were in here, and I was like, God.
And suddenly I felt like a moron.
I was so upset. Like every time I fucking walk away from my computer, someone
Alright.
decides to join a chat.
So back to the game now.
Yeah.
So Austin wants to kind of make this more based on the story behind it. So presumably, the players, which I believe are going to be everybody on this call currently, I believe is going to be Edquist, myself, Donnie, and Devin. We're going to be friends in this Pokemon world.
Traveling, friends, something along those lines.
Eh,
I mean,
Traveling
whatever-
companions. You guys are going to help me
Traveling-
get where I want to go, so it's okay.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Why can't we all just be friends? Like, why can't? Why?
I'm fine
Honestly,
with that.
why can't we all just get
100
into a game where we don't have our own agenda? It's just we're just friends. We just traveling
Well,
and
no,
playing
we can all
Pokemon.
just-
Do that,
have
but
our
I
own
think
agenda.
we have two people in the party that want to do kinda shady shit, and then two people that want to be like,
Who the
serious,
fuck wants to do shady shit?
Webby, do you want to beat Pokemon or Pokemon trainers with a baseball bat at any point in time
Okay,
in the game?
listen. My answer, hell yeah. Honest answer, I mean probably not. I'm gonna try to play this. I don't know.
So, are you
different.
going to try to be a trainer, or are you like?
I think that was gonna be one of my next questions.
You want to breed certain types of Pokemon?
Well, that was gonna be my next question.
Want
Is
to be a chef?
I don't know much about the game as far as the role playing
Alright,
game or
well,
the
fuck
regular game, but can we have different jobs?
yes,
Yes.
there's a shit ton of jobs.
There are things that we can do that
I
will
can tell
benefit
you
our
right now,
Pokemon.
if me and Donnie built separate characters, then there's enough stuff to go around. If me and
Yeah.
Donnie built characters that are different or not the same, we have a little bit of crossing the streams here and there, but nothing too bad. I was gonna say dick touching, but that's a little too personal. And
But they never stop touching, so do you even count it as a touch?
y'all
at that
people don't need to know that.
Oh,
right?
whoops.
You guys doing the fusion dance with your dicks?
Yes.
Yes.
See,
Just
do
like
I
I
get,
thought.
do I get
same
bonus points
time.
for a Dragon Ball Z reference?
You do.
Nice.
You do. Gold star day for Webby.
I give you inspiration when we start Pokemon game.
Yes. Austin, you heard it. Donnie gave me inspiration. You can't take it
Webby
back.
already is the very best. Like
And he's
no-
like, okay, Donnie, you have negative inspiration for giving Webby inspiration.
Donnie's like, you know
I'll still
what?
take it.
I'm cool with that. I'm fucking
Right?
cool with that.
So, okay, go
right.
over go over some of the examples of the
I will
various
go
jobs.
over
We
all
don't.
the classes for you right
I
now.
mean, we
'cause
don't
I'm
have to
gonna
go through all of them if you said
No,
there's
I'm
a
just
lot.
gonna- It's not that many because
Are you looking for jobs or classes?
Austin
okay.
eliminated an entire category.
Okay, let me clarify and specify one thing.
Yeah.
Like Donnie just asked the question if I'm looking for jobs or classes. I want to know again, I don't know anything about this RPG game. What's the difference between jobs and classes?
Well,
Give me the breakdown.
Effectively, they're all the same. But some classes are also jobs. So effectively, they're all the same. But just breaking it down real quick. You have what's called the introductory classes. These are like the classes that kind of like, if you start out, you don't have to be one of these. Starting out, they're gonna have the most stuff packed into one package that'll give you, because classes are effectively, I think D&D terms, Webby.
Yep.
Imagine if a class, which kind of D&D is like that, is just a collection of feats. So you have to buy the feats at certain levels that get like once you meet the prerequisites, but a class is just like a collection of special feats.
Okay.
That make it. So going into that, you have like the introductory class. You have the Ace Trainer, a generalist battler that makes the most of training features and downtime training to ensure their Pokemon are always in peak condition. So that's what an Ace Trainer is. You have a capture specialist.
That sounds
Gotta
boring.
catch them all. An expert at using Pokeballs and other trainer capture tools to their maximum potential.
That sounds less boring.
There you
Don't
go.
you shit on my class, Webby.
What, the Ace Trainer one?
To be fair, Ace Trainer is kind of boring. Like, Ace Trainer, it's very passive. It's a very passive class. It's kind of a boring class.
Yeah,
in
but
terms
the
like
theme
stuff
of it
you
is
do.
exactly what you would do if you had Pokemon.
Exactly. No, I agree. I'm not. Donnie, it's in my build. Like, don't.
I know.
Okay?
No,
You
I'm
know?
just teasing Webby
I
because
like
he
Ace
shit on
Trainer.
it as soon as it
I
got
like
brought
Ace
up.
Trainer.
Listen,
Then you have
I'm just giving you my I know nothing about any of
Webby
this.
is
I'm just giving
his
you.
knee-jerk opinion.
You're right.
Yes.
And that's the way you should build a character. Knee-jerk opinion. Like, if you sit down for D&D, I say, you know what? Just read the blurb about each class. What sounds good to you?
Yes,
You're like,
exactly. I was just
Warlock.
teasing
I said,
Webby
get the
because as
fuck
soon as
outta
my
here.
class got
You're like, I like the Warlock. Get the fuck out of here.
I do like Warlock and
You
Webby.
don't want,
Get
you
out.
don't
Yeah,
want your
all of
fucking
you get
shiner
out.
around here. Get out of here.
Goddamn Warlock
Anyway,
pricks.
Commander, a leader and expert at using orders with efficiency to coordinate their allies in the battlefield. They may stand in the back of a fight, but they definitely take an active role in ensuring their party's victory.
No, I don't like it.
Webby's like, I'm tired of being a fucking support character.
Devin,
Coordinator.
Devin,
This is all you,
can't like-
Webby. Coordinator. Pokemon's not just about battles. Coordinators take the stage in Pokemon contests to show off their companions in exciting and fabulous ways, but they can hold their own in a battle as well.
Now, what is this, like fucking like talent contests?
Yes, like
Yes.
it's literally like a beauty pageant or a talent pageant. You pick a
There's
stat and
dancing,
you specialize
beauty, all
in,
kinds of shit.
and you do shit like that. Like there's a whole category of like people who pick like strength. You have like all these muscle Pokemons like up there flexing and shit, like bodybuilding for Pokemon. Yeah, no,
What is
It's a
that
thing.
one called?
coordinator.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hey,
No.
coordinators actually have pretty good battle abilities if you pick the right stuff, man. It's really
No,
bad,
no,
man.
no. Continue. I'm just writing this down. I'm making
There's-
little notes for myself.
The
Those are the ones
hobbyist.
that I
What's your question, Edquist?
Well, you're going over the starter classes though, so I won't say. But like, there are crazy ones that I put. Like, how are these even helpful classes? Like, there was the chef.
The
and
chef is a great
fashionista.
class.
Chef is
The chef
very,
is
very
great.
useful. Very,
Seriously.
very useful.
The chef's
If
a
you
great
say-
class. No, it seriously is.
When he gets to it, you'll see.
Hobbyist.
Right.
All right. Then
So
you
how
have
to
the
make Pokemon clothes helpful?
hobbyist. A jack of all trades, perfect for characters who aren't committed to a certain path yet. Hobbyists dabble in a variety of fields and can gain talents representing many different roles. Basically, they're like the rogue of the group. They're like the master. Well, kind of like the rogue. They're like the master of none, but good at bard. Better. There you go. Better idea. Bard. They're kind of like the master of none, but kind of good at everything. And I think they can jack skills off of other classes. They can like go like, yeah, I want this. So they can like be one class but have different abilities from other classes. They're pretty
Okay.
cool.
That's
Then
the
you have
hobby.
the mentor.
That's the hobbyist.
The hobbyist, yep. Then you have the mentor. Preparation is half the battle. Mentors are skilled caretakers of Pokemon that know how to draw out their potential, whether by changing the nature of a Pokemon or teaching it new moves to give it an edge in battle. So
No.
another one that's very passive.
No.
All right. Then scrolling past all the in-depth analysis of this, we're getting to the battling style classes, y'all. Yeah.
Can I do a side note? I don't really want to hijack you, but in this game, there are different categories for these. Some of them are meant to be purely passive, and some of them are meant to be active abilities that you use.
Yeah, like
You're
so.
gonna want something passive, I would say.
You have two. So there's two main, like you have your player and you have your Pokemon. You both your player and your Pokemon have action pools, like action economy pools that they can use. So your player, if you can be like, I'll get to those later, but you can be a player that like actually fights next to your Pokemon doing shit like ripping people apart or like whatever. I think there's a class like you grew up in the wild with your Pokemon and you could fucking like rip people apart. There's a class like that later. Or you could be like in the back where you're giving orders and you're commanding your Pokemon to do stuff or helping other allies who are fighting doing stuff. Or you have a lot of passive abilities and you kind of use your action points on other things. So it really just depends. But going into the battling style classes, woo, woo, woo. All right, these classes are dedicated to particular battling styles. Choosing one of these classes will make a big statement about how your character approaches Pokemon training in battle. Unlike the specialist team classes, choosing a battle style does not require you to become highly selective about your Pokemon choices, but certain Pokemon do suit certain battling styles better than others. Characters built using an introductory class as a foundation easily transition into taking one of these classes to specialize and develop further. Boom. All right. First up, you have the Cheerleader. One of 4 classes based on the 4 training features. Cheerleaders expands on the battling style of the Inspired training feature. They're able to motivate their allies with orders and are great for trainers with Pokemon that can defend and support allies. Cheerleaders are actually really nice. They're great support characters for everybody. They're great people. All right. Moving into the Duelist. One of the 4 classes based on the 4 training features. Duelist hones in on the focus training feature and the battling style it promotes. Their core mechanic is based on controlling the momentum of battle and gaining a steady advantage using one Pokemon at a time without much switching. All right. Enduring Soul. A defensive class that seeks to outlast its opponent. The Enduring Soul can give even the most frail Pokemon immense staying power. They may not aim to hit the hardest, but they will be sure to remain standing at the end of the day. Bear Totem Barbarian. Boop. Webby, you still with me?
Yep, I'm making notes.
All right. The Juggler. I like the visualization of the Juggler. Jugglers swiftly swap. That is a really hard word to say. A combination of words. Jugglers swiftly swap through their entire Pokemon teams in a fight, forcing opponents to keep on their toes. They can make the most of a versatile team by ensuring that they always have a Pokemon they want out facing their foes and catching them off guard. So effectively, you have a lot of abilities with that where you literally are like juggling Pokeballs and like you're switching out on the fly left and right.
Okay.
It's pretty dope. Rider. One of the 4 classes based on the 4 training features. Rider makes the most of agility training by applying it to the art of mounted combat. From the back of their Pokemon, they can bark orders or swat away would-be attackers that get too close. Trainers and Pokemon work in concert to create a devastation combination. Then you have the Taskmaster. One of the 4 classes based on the 4 training features. Taskmaster embraces the cruel battling styles of the brutal training feature. It's a high-risk, high-reward class that gains an offensive edge at the expense of giving their own Pokemon injuries through a grueling training regimen. Trickster. Tricksters are specials in commanding their Pokemon to use status class moves, whether they are inflicting their foes with poison and burn, flooding the battlefield with hazards, or weakening their opponent with combat stage reducing moves. That's all for the battling classes. Now we get to the specialist team class. There's only 3. Right?
Okay.
All right. Specialist team classes. These classes have zeroed in on a particular kind of Pokemon they prefer using, and taking them will steer your character's team in that direction. Many prominent trainers in the Pokemon franchise, such as gym leaders and their proteges, create specialized teams that would be well represented with these classes. While this list may appear small, it's simply because each of these classes have many variations. 5 different stats for the Stat Ace and Style Expert each, and 18 different types for the Type Ace. So, Stat Ace. A specialist in one of the 5 combat stats: attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. Style Expert, an advanced contest competitor that specializes in one of the 5 contest stats: beauty, cool, cute, smart, and tough. They have battling styles that reflect their contest specialization as well. Type Ace, a battler that primarily uses Pokemon of a certain elemental type.
Now, we can't take any of those to start with, right? Because I was reading through it, and it says that you have to have 2 Pokemon of
the certain type in order.
It depending on a lot of those, yes, only because of the prerequisites of the class. So like the stat ace prerequisite is 3 Pokemon with the chosen stat at 20 or higher. So that would be a later down the road class. You can have up to 4 classes. You can make your character out of up to 4 classes. The style expert is 3 Pokemon with 3d6 in a specific certain contest, and then the type ace is 2 different Pokemon of the chosen type link skill at novice. Elemental connection of the chosen type, as well as there's a lot of stuff for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's more of a later down the road one, but it is actually really nice, especially if you're like for a stat ace. Like if you want to be like, I want to be a guy that just focuses on like bashing people's faces in, so you focus on attack as a stat. Well, it's gonna be, let me see, your Pokemon prerequisite 3 Pokemon. This ability, the stat ace ability, your Pokemon have their chosen battle stat increased by +1, and by +1 more for every 10 levels they have. For example, a level 20 Pokemon will have your chosen stat base value increased by +3. Additionally, your Pokemon may ignore base relations as long as they are adding to the stat chosen for the stat ace. Base relations is you have to level your character up in a certain way. So you look at your stats, you go in order of your highest to lowest stat, and you have to maintain that. So, like, let's say you have a 10 and a 9. You can't, like, I think you have 10, a 9, and 8. I'm just going to say you have 3 stats for the sake of simplicity. A 10, a 9, and 8, right? You level up. You can put the stat in the 10, or you can put the stat in, I think, in the 8. Or no, actually, no. It has to be, it has to be 10, 9, 10, 9. Yeah, it would have to go to 10 because you can't upset the balance. So the order has to be maintained. So you can't put, for instance, Donnie, you can help me out with this one, explaining it like in a weird way. You can't put, like, if attack is your highest stat and then HP is your next highest stat and then defense is your next highest stat, if putting a point in defense or HP is going to tie or make that stat better, and it's going to change the order in which the stats are ranked, you can't do it. You have to put the stats in order of which they're ranked.
So essentially, you would write it down if you go ahead.
Well, if you had like a 10, a 9, and a 7, you could put the point in the 10 or the 7.
Yes,
that's
there
not
you
going
go.
to change the
Yes,
order, but
yes,
you can't
that's
put
exactly
it in the 9
right.
because
There you
the
go.
9
You
would
couldn't
then
put it in the 9 because the 9 would
attack.
match the 10. Exactly. That's
Okay.
Can they not meet it, or can they not exceed it?
no. I don't. I believe you have to keep you. It can't tie. It has to be.
Okay.
It has to be.
If they started off equal, they can be brought back to equal, but that's it. They had to have started off equal at the beginning.
So say you had your 10, 9, and 7 stat.
Yep.
And whatever stat my 9 was, say my 9 was my HP, and I really wanted that to be higher, then at first I'd have to raise that 10 stat.
You'd have to raise that 10 stat, and then
up
next
to
time
an
you level
11,
up,
and then the next
and
time
then
I
you
level, I could
the
raise my
9 or
HP.
10.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that's where like your Pokemon, like when you get your Pokemon, I don't know how Austin's gonna roll it. It could be random. It could be he might let us choose, or he might be nice. I'm not sure. The Pokemon, its nature comes into play a lot. So the nature will basically improve one stat by 2, decrease a corresponding stat by 2. So for instance, let's say this Pokemon has a low HP. Let's say this Pokemon has 5 HP. You're like, well, I want a tougher Pokemon. I'm going for a tough attacker. I don't really care about special attack. I want a tough physical attacker. Because you have attack, you have special attack. Special attack is more for like range moves and like, flamethrower, things like that. You're like, I want a tougher Pokemon with stronger attack. So you're like, I don't want to lower his attack stat, but I don't care about special attack. So if we can pick our natures, you would pick a nature that would raise his HP by 2 and lower his special attack by 2. So then it would shift that balance where it would allow you to improve that stat more.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So that's how you would do that.
Is it possible to just tackle stuff to death?
I mean, yes.
Tackle is an attack.
Early characters, that is actually kind of a thing. Like, because you don't really have a lot of stuff you can do.
I mean, is
regular Pokemon.
tackle just a useless attack later on in the game?
No,
I wouldn't
mean,
say useless, but there will be better physical attacks.
there's better physical attacks like takedown at
Oh,
a certain point,
all right.
or quick attack.
All right,
It's not even
so
costs. You love that.
you're continuing with these like these are all just classes, right? That you've
Yeah,
labeled
yeah.
so
I'm
far.
getting into the professional classes, which are more of your job style classes.
Okay. Now these are ones that we can choose. At
You can choose their
creation.
Yep, all these. If you basically, because since classes are only feats, if you meet the requirements, the prerequisites for the feat,
Yep.
then you can qualify for it.
And how many
I
are
don't-
these? Are we allowed to have at character creation? Just one?
As many as you can technically fit on the sheet. I don't think it's possible to fit more than 3. I think you can.
I think 4 is the most you can have. Period.
4 is the most you can have. Period. I don't think with how you have to start building your character at level 1 or level 0, whatever we level start at. I don't think you can get enough prerequisites on the board.
Yeah.
To have more than 2 or 3.
Okay.
And something you might want to keep in mind, Webby, is when you take a stat specialist or a stat ace, whatever stat you specialize in, that stat is no longer limited by the bracket it's put in. You can raise that stat as much as you want.
And there's other things that allow you to like raise skills beyond what the base relation would be. So there's other abilities that let you like, oh, you can raise this skill as much as you want and ignore base relation. So if you want to like raise your HP, when your HP is your worst stat, and you want to raise HP, you don't have to wait for the other stats. Or HP is your best stat, or whatever, like your middle of the road stat. You just bump it up without worrying about base relation, depending on what you're doing for. All right, professional classes. My man, the chef. But all right, let's hop into what professional classes are. These classes represent a skill set that one might not expect to see in the life of a wandering trainer, such as an academic field of study or professional skills. Academic field of study or professional skills. These skills often prove useful to battlers, such as preparing combat boosting food as a chef, or breeding Pokemon with the Pokemon caretaker talents and researcher. But they can also represent professional interests outside of conquering the Pokemon League or contest circuit.
Okay.
So like for instance, Webby, to give you an idea of a character, just like off the top of my head character, you could totally play a chef who you just want to you're traveling to try out like different like ingredients across the land. Like you have a Pokemon and maybe harvesting certain ingredients from certain Pokemon. You're literally a chef who's trying to come up with the best recipes and sample all the ingredients across the land, kind of thing.
Okay.
Like that could totally be a viable character. That
You're trying to push your supplements on the muscle heads.
Yep, that too. All right, chef, a crafting class that creates food for them and their allies, which can provide an instant buff in battle and turn the tide. That's what the chef does. Chronicler. Oh boy, chronicler. A perceptive type of trainer who records everything they run across for posterity. Analyzing their records not only gives them insight into people and places, but also an edge in battle and the ability to tutor moves to their Pokemon.
That's a big deal.
It is. Also, that class, though, if I'm not mistaken, is very AP heavy. So, like, you every round, you have stuff to do. Good and bad. Like, you may want to do something else, but you're also like, well, I can't do that and this, so I'm doing this. Fashionista. Whoop, whoop. A crafting class that makes held items for all sorts of different occasions and can teach their Pokemon to make better use of held items. Actually, really nice.
That's way better than I expected it to be. I did not even read that one, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, no. Held items in Pokemon are everything.
Now, what are held items?
So, like, in the actual game, certain items you can hold, get your Pokemon to hold, and they'll do things like raise fire attacks, help you resist certain things. Or, if you were to die, get knocked out, keep you alive at one hit, which works great with Counter Punch. Or counter, you get hit. Oh, you killed me. I counter you for double the damage. You just died, bitch.
And there's also certain Pokemon that can only evolve with certain items. I don't know if you can craft those items, but if you could, that's really nice.
Okay.
It's possible. Researcher. Education. You need. I'm reading education skills and survival. That's what you would need for it. But researcher. Researchers study various academic fields and apply them to Pokemon. General knowledge, apothecary, botany, chemistry, climatology, crystal artifice, occultism, paleontology, and Pokemon caretaking. So, for instance, a researcher with Pokemon caretaking would be more along the lines of a breeder.
So there is no breeder job. That would be a researcher.
It would be a researcher with a focus in Pokemon caretaking, and each one of those focus areas has a whole nother subset of feats you can take, which would give you a breeder, which would make you a breeder.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, like, you have like botany, like plant. So I mean, if you go like, if I was gonna play a botany
Berries.
person, it would be berries, plants, and I would focus on like grass, bug Pokemon because that would just be like how the game would tell me to.
I'm honestly looking at apothecary. I'm considering
Apothecary's
it for later.
Survivalist, a wilderness-oriented class that can specialize in a variety of terrain, gaining the ability to create impromptu traps, fight using the environment, and help the allies cope with their surroundings.
You can fucking set traps in this game?
Yes.
It's fucked up.
All right.
I have a dumb question.
I have
No such thing.
Can you only throw Pokeballs at wild Pokemon to catch them?
I believe Pokeballs do damage to people if you hit them with them. I knew that's what you were doing.
I meant
He
more
wants to try to
so,
take other people's Pokemon.
can you take other people's Pokemons using Pokeballs?
I don't think that works by rules of Pokemon.
All right.
You will be immediately banned from any.
Well, no, I don't think that
official league
works by
stuff.
rules of Pokemon. I think like the ball will reject them if they're already registered to another
Yeah,
Pokemon.
sorry, I was muted. That's a negative because they're already bound to a ball, so you'd have to steal their ball from their.
Yeah, if you steal a Pokeball.
That's why I want to be a thief.
Oh, so you could just steal the Pokeball outright.
Yeah, like if you take a lead pipe, like you're like, all right, let's fight. Lead pipe to the back of the head. I'm gonna take your shit. I'm out. I mean, the Pokemon may not like you. If it's particularly fond of the other guy,
Yeah,
it may not like you.
There's
It
a
may turn on
loyalty
you.
system.
Yeah, it may
where
turn
the
on
Pokemon
you,
might
or
turn
just
on
maybe
you,
like,
yeah.
fuck you, I'm not fighting for you. But I mean, nothing a little persuasion.
There's a
and
fucking
TLC.
loyalty system in this game?
There is.
Can I rule via fear?
There is a class for that. Kind of, not really.
Taskmaster.
But, I mean, Taskmaster is it's not necessarily
Potentially.
fear, but it's more abuse and other things. But you can make it work. Like I'm looking at it as part of my thing, and I'm not gonna necessarily be all about abuse. More like break
See,
you and make you stronger.
I can't abuse these small little creatures. These.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you'd have the heart to abuse.
More like break you to make you
trainers?
stronger. Break you to make you
No.
stronger. Not in a negative way. All right.
All right, so we ended on
now
survivalist.
Now we're in the fighter class.
So that's it for the professional classes.
Yes. So now we're in the fighter classes. These are the classes in which you, as a trainer, want to get involved in some fights. You want to beat some Pokemon and people up.
All right.
All right. These classes fight in battle alongside their Pokemon. Their abilities can't be brought to bear during official Pokemon League battles, barring full contact rules, but they are useful when traveling throughout the wilds or confronting criminals. Not all fighting classes directly deal damage. Some, such as the Dancer, play a more supportive role. So these classes are, while not legal in actual league rules, out in the wild, this shit is fair game. You have the athlete, a frontline fighter who specialized in training themselves and boosting their stats.
Okay.
Wallpaper
Pretty
paste.
straightforward.
Wallpaper paste class. We love it.
Yeah.
All right. Dancer, a supportive class which can boost its own combat stages as well as those of its allies, best as a supplementary class paired with other fighting classes. Hunter, a unique fighter who works best when cooperating with their Pokemon to corner foes and assault them with their attacks of opportunity. Martial artist, a frontline fighter that can specialize in a variety of fighting styles and excel at fighting type offense. You actually can learn Pokemon moves too as a trainer. It's weird. Like
Okay.
you can learn. I don't know if you can learn like Ice Punch, but you can learn like Mach Punch and shit.
You can become an elemental. Oh, I think they're off limits in our game though.
Yeah.
But in the actual game, there you can learn elemental moves by being an elementalist as a class.
Dope. Musician, a versatile supporter and special attacker that can swap between debuffing foes, buffing allies, and attacking with sound-based moves on a whim.
So all of these ones that you're labeling right now are ones that if you went to a gym, you could not use or utilize.
No. I will say it is up to Austin. Like moves that don't damage other players, like the musician has obviously he can debuff or buff allies. Austin may rule and say, well, it is up to Austin. He may rule and say, well, you can like if you want to pull out like a guitar and like motivate your Pokemon and pump them up, like that's legal, but you can't debuff the other guy. Or he may even say, you know what, if you can distract the gym leader with your guitar playing, that may be fair. It really just all depends on Austin, but like by the rules, no.
Okay.
But also by the rules, I think they're more so leaning in the fact that you can't beat people with lead pipes.
Or their Pokemons in an official battle. Yeah.
Like you can't like punt Pichu across the field. Like, oh, Pichu is going in. No, you're not, bitch. Boom.
Oh, that's a cute little Togepi. Let's see how far I can kick him.
Boom.
Now, see, I'll tell you this much: I don't care if I'm in a league fight or a gym fight or whatever. If somebody was going to like kill the one that I want for a starter Pokemon's, I would jump in. I would fuck some shit up to save my Pokemon's life.
Well, typically official duels or battles or whatever are not to the death.
Are not.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
not
fucking good.
It's
But I do think that Austin said that he's going to leave it to us. If you leave
and then
them
you
out.
recall. They can die. Like don't give like if you like for instance, if you send them in with wounds or injuries, you send them in fights with injuries because you hit 10 injuries, you die. If you send them in a fight with injuries, then technically speaking, they can die unintentionally, but that's never intentional.
I'm just gonna start corroding other fucking Pokemasters.
So what I'm hearing is my character will not be allowed to pull out a gun and shoot the opposing player's Pokemon.
Yes.
Damn.
In an official fight.
That was how I was gonna win everything.
Nope.
Well, we're still going to have battles. Austin's pretty much making it like the official battles are going to be a side thing.
Like the way I'm looking at the game in my head is like very much rags to riches. Like I imagine we come from a really shitty town, full of like crime and everything everywhere. Like we come from Detroit, or
Jesus.
Chicago, and we're trying to make our way to like LA.
We come from Pennsylvania. Anywhere in the state.
Yes.
of Pennsylvania.
Oh,
It just takes place in Pennsylvania.
Pokemon's just spontaneously combust in Pennsylvania.
We're trying to get other places. Anyway, so musician, there we go. So you have the provocateur. Mislead, frighten, and seduce. You're going to seduce some Pokemon? The provocateur specializes in disorienting social moves and the manipulate maneuver. Then you have the rogue. A tricky fighter that excels in dark type offense using the dirty fighting combat maneuver. You have the roughneck. A fighter specializing in using fear to overwhelm their foes. Webby. They can not only debuff their opponents, but also come with a suite of features and moves to improve their stability in battle. And then you have the Tumbler, a quick fighter based on mobility and flying type offense. And that, my friend, is all the classes that aren't banned. They're supernatural classes, but they're banned.
Okay.
Did he say for sure they were banned? Because he was on the fence last I heard.
I thought he said for sure they're banned.
I think he said he was considering banning them, but
Yeah, in the chat he never said.
I can almost guarantee you off rip, he's probably going to wind up banning. I would imagine he's going to wind up banning telekinetic and telepath.
yeah, and Channeler probably as well.
I wanted Hex.
Channeler, Warper probably.
I would say almost guaranteed Warper.
Yeah.
Now,
I
what
feel
are
like
these?
psychics and mediums should be allowed. Like I've already talked to you about that.
These are supernatural classes, like because you can have classes where like you're a fucking like telekinetic, and you're like just throwing shit at
Okay.
people at Pokemons and stuff.
If
which
I were
it
him,
doesn't
if you took
really
psychic
fit.
or something, I would require that if you take psychic, you should be a psychic ace also, and if you take medium, you should be a ghost ace. Like, I would try to work it in somehow like that.
That is true. Like I would, and then that would delay it till later
Yeah.
because you can't get psychic ace till you get three Pokemon of that type anyway.
True.
So it would delay
I
it
know,
till
ghost
later.
ace might be necessary to even catch a ghost if he goes that route.
Yeah, Ghost Ace or Channeler.
Yeah.
I mean, if he allowed him, I was gonna grab Channeler because I do like Channeler.
Same.
But yeah,
Same. We will probably have that same class if that's allowed, and I don't care. It's completely fine with me. Ash
I
was
mean,
a
I plan
channeler. He
on
just
going
didn't know
Ghost
it.
Ace eventually.
What's
That
that,
was my
Edquist?
I said I plan on going Ghost Ace eventually once I get it.
My man wants some
For
ghost
the red-
Pokemon up in here.
Yeah.
Well, depending on how rare they are and if I can ever get enough of them, I would want to be a Dragon Ace. But
So
they're
s-
fucking rare.
Something really just tells me, probably because I know the least about Pokemonz, is that I'm going to have a very, in what your guys' eyes would be considered a very boring ass fucking character.
No, not at all.
I'm gonna be that like paper cutout
What-
character
what are
that
you
just
thinking?
follows you guys around.
What are you thinking?
Well, off of what you've read so far, the one thing that really stuck out to me was a researcher with the Pokemon caretaking thing to be a breeder.
That
Okay,
is
so-
very, very useful.
I'm not
Very,
exactly
very
sure
useful.
what else I would have to take to get that breeder.
I can tell you right now.
Stuff?
Hold on. That's professional. That is researcher. So researcher. All right, you would need researcher. Your prerequisite. You would need any education skill at novice rank. That's very easily to qualify for. Effect. Choose 2 researcher fields of study. You may take features from those fields with the instance of research. With this instance of researcher, gain 1 feature from a chosen researcher field for which you qualify. So for instance, your research fields would be choose 2 fields of study. Let's see. So apothecary as
Well, one
general
of them would
research
be
field.
Pokemon caretaking, right?
Right, I know. I'm getting there. I'm just trying to get down there. It's a scroll. It's a scroll. All right, Pokemon caretaking. Bam, bam.
And then I would need one additional one.
Yep, you can take 1 additional one. So Pokemon caretaking, you have like you can get pusher, which is one of the abilities. Your Pokemon gain the basic ranged attacks or pose, gains the basic range attacks or pose, enticing bait, and extended invisibility, far reading, precise treat, TK mastery, and a trail star Pokemon automatically if you qualify for them without having to invest in tutor points. That's actually really nice. That's a lot of ability. Jesus, a lot of fucking abilities for that. Free action, a hatching egg. A Pokemon is born with special qualities determined by the GM. So this one would be like if you get an egg, and this one's special. Like if it's getting ready to hatch, you can pop this ability, and something special about it will happen. It may have better ability. It's up to the DM. May have better abilities.
And what research is that?
That's under Pokemon caretaking.
Oh,
Research field.
okay. 'Cause
Like, so if you have an egg that's getting ready to hatch, you can just be like, I activate my ability. This one's special. I know it. And it'll be, it'll be up to Austin. Maybe it comes out shiny. Maybe it gets some stat boost. Maybe it, maybe it can talk like Meowth.
Another thing that you have more control over that happens with breeding is because the way Pokemon breed, they're in breeding groups, so it doesn't have to be the same Pokemon. Like not just evolutions of the same Pokemon, but you can breed like a Charizard with another Pokemon completely that's in his breeding group. And sometimes those combinations will give your egg when they hatch what's called egg moves.
Yep.
That they can only learn because you bred them with a certain Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to double check and make sure that I'm not lying that is in fact where the breeder is.
Breeding is a very, very good thing.
It is. No, I don't want to tell Webby this is where it's at and then it's not there.
But I mean, in a party setting, in an RPG style game, is it going to be beneficial?
Yes. 100%.
Yes. Yeah.
100%. Like it will be fine.
Especially since you can do that for us too.
Yeah.
Like not
That's
just
what I was.
yourself. Like you'd be
yeah.
like, "Oh, you want a dragon ghost? Here you go." Then we'll fight. Me and Donnie will fight.
You know what? Hold on. Let me just do this. I can
Yeah.
do this easier this way. Go to character creation.
We'll put it this way. For my original starter that I wanted, I would also want him to have an egg move. And if you're a breeder, I'll wait to take him so we can try to breed and get the move I want.
Yeah, here we go. The thief, the law enforcement, the mad scientist, the sleuth, the gentleman, the lady, the mystic, the psychic. Yeah, okay, here we go. So the breeder would fall under. I'm looking at the archetype build. So the breeder would probably fall under either the professor's assistant, which would be kind of like Gary or Crystal, or the caretaker, which is what Brock would be.
Yeah, I want that.
The caretaker. So
I don't
it
know
says
anything about this Brock guy, but
Brock
he's got
is
a cool
so
name.
yeah.
and
So
Officer Jenny, Nurse Joy.
Those are all down there too. But
Not talking about Brock.
oh yeah, Brock. So it says start with either mentor, researcher, or chef.
So okay, so researcher.
Researcher is the one you're looking at. So researcher would be one you could easily start with.
Okay.
And then so it says either start as mentor, researcher, or chef. The mentor is the quintessential caretaker, truly providing the nurturing that nurturing can overcome Pokemon's nature and drawing out hidden potential of a Pokemon through diligent care. Trainers embodying the caretaker archetype are often skilled Pokemon breeders and Pokemon caretakers. Caretaking brand of researcher perfectly fits in these characters. Not only can they ensure their eggs produce a particular special Pokemon, but they can make their Pokemon excel in their special capabilities. The chef and the researcher branches that craft medicine and grow herbs provide the most direct caretaking roles, supplying their companion with food and caretaking of their medical treatment, respectively. From there, what classes you choose will largely depend on your focus. Caretakers often run the risk of falling into a rut of having no actions to take in battle or places to spend their AP. Those who want a more active role in battle should consider the Sage so they can give their party blessing in battles. Caretakers who are concerned with leading their companions through the wilderness safely may end up taking the Survivalist class. So, kind of depending on what you want to do, but like if you're looking at research, like if you like a researcher is a solid pick. A good pick from there, I would say, is probably either mentor.
Yeah.
Like it said, mentor would be good. Chef would be good. Mentor is a really great class. It's one of the ones I know I'm taking. It's a great class. The only thing about it people say is that once you kind of have your party, because a lot of the features of that class are one-time use. Like they improve your Pokemon like once, and then you can't use them on that Pokemon anymore.
Okay.
So it bums out with the fact like you have your full like 6-man party, and you're like, hey, I got everything I need. Well, all right, well, I have no use for this class anymore. But you got a lot of use out of it, just no use at that moment. If that makes sense.
Right. So end game, it's not great.
End game, yeah,
used it.
You're still getting boost from it. It's just you can't.
It's just you can't do anymore. So it's like it becomes like a space after a while. Like, oh, this is taking up a space. Like I used it all. It's good, but it's space. It's like a bottle you can't throw away. Empty bottle you can't throw away.
Right.
So researcher, and then mentor is a good one. Do you want to get your hands dirty or no?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to breed some Pokemans.
Let's see here. If you want to also breed some Pokemans, I would personally say, you know what? That would actually be a fun combination, I think. Because I know for a fact that if you went into Mentor is it's completely passive, 100% passive.
Which is good because Donnie said at the beginning that I'd want some form of a passive thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to see right now if Researcher is a lot of passive stuff and out of combat stuff. So you don't have a lot of stuff to do in combat as a researcher or as a breeder. So you'd want something you want to do in combat. So with that, I would probably say, depending on the kind of Pokemon you like to go with, I would maybe either say a Trickster,
I do have that one written down along
Trickster.
with.
So what Trickster actually does is basically any move that inflicts a status effect, you improve those moves. So like the status effect lasts longer. It does other stuff, like for instance, Bag of Tricks. Rank 1 is be a Trickster, rank 2 is be a Trickster static, whatever. You gain 2 Trickster techniques of your choice found on the next page. So
Is
Trickster
that,
techniques.
Is that legal in case he ever wants to do official battles?
Yeah, it's legal.
Okay.
Now,
yeah. So
let me ask you this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The other one that I had written down, I don't know if it's an in combat one, but I had written down the Enduring Soul one.
Yes, that's actually one of the combat ones. That's actually one of the combat classes. That's a good class too.
All right, because I think I'd be leaning more towards, because that one you said would make things a little bit more tougher.
That will make things tougher. That's another passive class. So with all the passive classes you're picking, I would probably say your 4th class to round out. I would probably go either something to make you fight, or go like Commander, where you could like give orders to your Pokemon. But if I had to pick one, I would probably say you should take. Where is it at? Hunter is the stealth one. That's what I wanted.
What about hobbyist? That's kind of
Hobbyist.
It's kind of like a bard. You
Hobbyist is
said.
jack of all trades. Yeah, the jack of all trades class. Hobbyist is fine. They are kind of 1-star. Like, active Pokemon's 1 out of 5. They're not very active. They're not very passive. They're kind of just a little bit of everything. They're all over the place.
What are the type aces?
Type
those
aces,
active?
if you could get, they are, but you get like, you can't get like a bear type, which sucks.
You can pick bear species.
Can you?
I'm like 99% sure I read it
I
somewhere.
didn't see where it was like.
Yeah,
species.
but see, Austin told me I wouldn't be able to do a species. I'd
Yeah,
have to
I don't
choose a
think-
type.
yeah.
Maybe
yeah,
it's in
under
a
the
different
type-
book.
Under type
I
base,
don't-
you can't do species. You can like bug, dark, dragon, electric, fairy, fighting, fire, flying, ghost, grass, ground, ice age or ice ace, normal ace, poison, psychic, rock, deal.
But I mean, he could do like a status.
he can do a
ace
stat
and
ace. Totally do stat
do
ace.
all bear Pokemon.
You do a stat
Like
ace, do all bear
strength.
Pokemon, and then do like focus on strength or focus on defense or focus on special defense and things like that. So you could do something like that. If you wanted to fight personally or wanted to get a little more involved personally, I would probably say under professional, I would go survivalist. Because it has partial travel investigation, partial trainer combat, but also partial active support.
So survivalist you could use in league play, just you wouldn't be fighting. You'd have to do your active support.
Yes, so you'd be ag supporting. So, like for instance, survivalist choose terrain in which you have spent at least 3 nights. You gain nature walk for that terrain and a +2 bonus. Athletics, acrobatics, self perception, survival checks in that terrain. Where you have +2 survivalist features, you may choose a second terrain. Where you have 4 survivalist features, you may choose a third terrain. Where you have 6 survivalist features, you may choose a 4th terrain. Terrains are grassland, forest, wetlands, ocean, tundra, mountain, cave, urban, desert. Now, this is one of those ones that actually taking this feature ups your HP. Then you have natural fighter. You and your Pokemon become adept at using the environment to your advantage in battle. This costs 1 AP. It costs 1 action point to activate. You or your Pokemon may activate Natural Fighter as a standard action to use the move below corresponding to the current terrain. You and your Pokemon must still follow all frequency limitations for the move. So grasslands, cotton spore, forest, grass whistle, wetlands, mud slap, ocean aqua ring, tundra haze, mountain smackdown, cave astonish, urban fling, desert sand attack.
So doing that, if I was adept and if I had spent enough time in these terrains, it would activate it in a fight, and then my Pokemons would learn a special unique ability based off the terrain.
Yep. It can use a special, and you could be like say let's say you were fighting you spent some time in the desert or whatever, and you were fighting a Pokemon battle that had some sand or desert nearby. You could easily use sand attack, even if your Pokemon didn't know it. You could use sand attack. That's an option. Trapper, you create a consumable item that creates 8 meters of hazard within 6 meters. All 8 meters must be adjacent with at least one other space of the hazard. Those hazards cause the foes to run into them and become slow to the end of their next turn. Have additional effects based on the terrain in which the items are made. When foes run into these hazards, they are destroyed after their effect resolves. Pokemon and trainers with Nature Walk for the terrain associated with the hazard are immune to this effect. These items must be used the same day they're created or they lose their effectiveness. Dust Trap, Tangle Trap, Slick Trap, Abrasion Trap. Wilderness Guide, Terrain Talent, Adaptive Geography. So I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff there. Don't like settle on that. There's a lot of cool stuff there.
Forgive me, I really want this to work for Webby to be able to use his bears. Somebody read Vamp chat, Devin preferably, since he's more familiar with the rules.
If you also want to just be like a badass Webby, I vote Roughneck.
Yes, that's what I thought you were gonna like from the very beginning.
Roughneck, pretty dope. Yeah, you just need you gain some defense from
Roughneck Rider or something is what I was reading. People said they like to play.
Novice athletics, intimidating presence is all you would need. Let me see. Swift action. You hit a foe with an attack. The foe loses a combat stage and the stat of your choice, which is actually really powerful. Roughneck. You gain more defense. So basically, every one of these, you just gain defense on every one of these abilities you take. Gain more defense. You hit a foe with a terrorized manipulation. You hit a foe with a terrorized manipulation until their next turn. The target has their initiative lowered to 0 for 1 full round. Attacks against them cause them to flinch on a 17 plus or have their existing flinch range increased by +4. Metal. You take massive damage or intercept a damaging attack, which means like intercepting a damaging attack will be like an ally.
Okay. And this is under the Roughneck.
Yeah, Roughneck. So Roughneck's pretty cool, and that's a class that will let you fight. Yeah, Donnie, I see that. That's an Austin question, but I see that.
I have to get back to work.
Go for it, dude.
Really quick, what I was planning to do, I was going to do Trickster, Rogue, Ghost Ace, and then if he allows it, either Hex Maniac or Medium. So let me know what you guys think if that works, and I'll listen to it later when I get a chance. And if I can't do the last, either of the Supernatural, what would be a good fourth one to pick? Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, peace out.
Bye. I would say ninja, but I think that is counted as a supernatural.
That is a supernatural class. Yeah. Also, Webby, it's gonna sound really weird when I say this. Another good thing. I'm really trying to get someone to do it because it's actually really good.
Page 59. That feat that I just sent is in the book on page 59.
Oh, okay, then fine. Then yeah, that'll work. And yeah, I mean, you could technically just have those two classes, then take what Donnie just posted on page 59.
Well, because they're feats, it might actually be easier to slot them in there and still take other classes.
Well, classes are feats.
Oh,
So-
they are?
Yeah, that's all. Classes are only thing classes are just feats.
Oh. Oh, wait, this might be 3 different individual Pokemon of the same evolution. That's
Let's
not what I
see.
thought it
Hold
was
on.
then.
Species Avant. 3 different individual Pokemon of the same evolutionary line. Yeah, no. That's for like.
I would
one
get with Austin and
species.
see if you can't say species as in bear. It might, I don't know.
Well, here, let's look at. We might be overthinking this. Let's look at something real quick. Let me go to the Pokedex.
So for those of you listening, if you haven't guessed it yet, I really want the starter Pokemanz of Pancham. I believe that's his name.
That is his name.
It's a little baby panda bear. I love him. He chews on a piece of grass. And then when he evolves into Pangaru, right?
Pangoro.
He also still chews on a piece of grass. And he's got like a weird, I don't know if it's a tail thing going on or like some weird thing on the backside that I always think is like a third arm, but it's really just part of his coat or some shit. I don't know what that is.
They say Mewtwo has a 3rd leg.
What's shut up, Donnie. What's I'm trying to think. What are the other
Is that a penis joke?
Yes.
Oh.
Mewtwo's Mac Daddy, so I say he has a leg.
So
Mewtwo is such a badass Pokemon that he actually commanded Pokemon and had his own party of Pokemon. Like a trainer would.
Snorlax would be normal as well. What's the other bears?
Ursaring.
Oh, you're looking for normal type?
The
Ace.
ice bear. The ice bear.
I got him. I got Pancham. I got the Ice Bear. Beware. I forgot about Beware. What about Beware? Best Pokemon.
So as far as these like researcher, mentor, and so on, you can have up to 4.
You can have 4 classes, yes.
Now, do you have to pick things within these classes at all, or
Yes.
do you just
so
get...
like the classes are a combination of feats. So
Okay.
what only thing a class is just a bunch of feats.
Okay.
There's a class feat, and then there's a bunch of subsequent feats that require you to have that class feat to go with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so most of the bears you're looking at are going to be normal type. So you could be a normal type ace, but I mean there's still a good chunk spread out across the board. So back over here, I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to see like I feel like it's one thing I'm missing. Like I mean, you could just go with the 2 mentor. I mean, honestly, you could just do the 3 mentor. There would be nothing wrong with going mentor, researcher, commander. Like that's a perfectly fine build.
Yeah,
Or capture specialist.
But I wanted that enduring soul to make them tougher.
Oh wait, no. Then you should be fine then. I mean, enduring soul because you're not enduring soul is passive too. So then I would maybe grab commander because commander is very active. Where you use a lot of your you basically you give orders. You give orders like you get a bunch of orders and you give orders that do certain things. So like you give an order, you use your action to give your Pokemon an order, which may like raise his speed or raise his attack for the round.
Okay.
And shit like that. Or and then you get to a point where you can like command like 3 people, and you can give players orders too, like other players. So like you can like boost other players' shits too. So that's an option too. Like commander is a good option. That was one I was seriously thinking about for a long time, having a mind. Hobbyist is also really good. Hobbyist will let you. The thing about hobbyists let you qualify for other classes very easily. Because the first thing hobbyist gives you, all it requires is a novice of general education and a novice in perception. Which general education novice would qualify you for one part of actually, hobbyist might be your best bet. Looking at it. Also, are we at an hour now?
Oh, for sure. I don't know. Let me look. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, this little side tangent thing has gone for an entire episode.
Yeah, let's just cut it here. We can continue this off, and then we can pick it back. Because I don't want to at least like a 2-hour episode of just us talking about a game.
Why? We've had 2-hour episodes of less. Am I right, listeners? Listen, get us to fucking Russia, for God's sake. We've been begging you guys forever.
Yeah, honestly, Webby, no, I think you honestly should take hobbyist.
Hobbyist.
I really do.
All right, we'll
I'm
discuss this. We'll discuss this off air. All right.
Yeah.
We gotta leave some imagination here, but yeah, I'm going with who would have ever fucking guessed? I'm going with a panda Pokemanz. All right. Well, I mean, hey, you guys, I have like 2 pages of notes here, so I actually I might have been a little quieter on this episode, but that's because I was actually taking notes. I learned a few things about this game. I think I'm probably going to be the worst one at it.
No, you're not. I promise you.
Well, just not knowing stuff, I feel like I'm going to be the worst one, at least at first.
To be fair, there is anything you don't know about a Pokemon. That's what we have Pokedex for. Anything you don't know about Pokedex, you actually are going to have. If you want to be a breeder, you're going to have Pokemon. The Pokemon knowledge, which lets you roll to figure out shit about Pokemon. So if anything you don't know about it, you can just clutch off your skill and just roll the stat and have Austin tell you everything you need to know about the Pokemon. So technically,
all right then,
you're winning this game by proxy.
I just want to help create and raise adorable Pokemanz. And then, maybe later on, you guys, like Donnie said, there's a special thing that he wanted where he had to have some egg thing, and I'd be able to help him out with that.
Yeah, breeding would be a really good, that would be useful for you, your party. You could do it for money.
Hell yeah.
You could be
because there's daycare lady.
You could be a world famous breeder, legit.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. I'm gonna be rich.
And with are you taking Enduring Soul?
I wanted to, yeah.
Yeah, I have it written down here for the fit in the bill.
Yeah, because I feel like you're gonna be just as good as anybody else as far as the official battles are gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, because Mentor is amazing and
Yeah.
Enduring Soul is really good. So I mean, you're gonna
Yeah.
Mentor. You're not gonna have a lot of like plus riders on like your attacks of your guys, but you're gonna have a lot of staying power and just consistent damage.
Now, real quick question, because I know you guys, you were kind of thinking of more active classes, so that I would have things to do during a Poke battle.
Mhm.
Is a chef considered an active class?
It's a crafting class.
The crafting class, I can tell you. I think it has some stuff in combat.
But like, do you have to use your action points to like use the food to feed the food to your Pokemans?
Yeah, I know it has in combat uses. So I'll tell you in a second.
Like,
But I
would
don't know
that
how
would that
deep it
be
is.
a decent fourth thing for me? I'm essentially a breeding buff bot.
Chefs are all crafting, 1 AP free action. I gotta read how the AP how like the action points work. Because like it's like 1 AP free action. Like I don't know what that means. Like you have to spend an AP, but it's a free action to do it, so you can do it whenever. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, I think that means you can do it at any time. So if you
can do
get
it anytime
poisoned
as
and you have
long
food
as
that
you
helps with that.
Have an AP, you can spend an AP to do it, but you can do it whenever you want. It's a free action.
Yeah, that's the way I read it.
You and your Pokemon trade in a digestion buff. You and your Pokemon trade in a digestion buff. Target gains temporary hit points equal to your intuition rank double. These temporary hit points stack from any temporary hit points granted by Accelerant Taste, the digestion buff, or by the Lunchbox ability.
I forget. Can you equip food to them like you can an item, and they'll use it the first time they need it?
I'm not sure. I have to read it.
I don't think so.
But
Alright.
Webby, if you actually want to make your dude super tough, another class to look at, and I'm not trying to troll you, I swear, is the coordinator.
Okay. I mean, I do have that one written down as a possible one.
Yeah, because you would need grace. You need the skill grace, which I don't. I guess you.
They'd be dancers.
Grace, novice charm, command, guile, intimidate, or intuition. I don't know how I'd read that. I don't know. Is that really novice, grace, charm, command, guile, intimidate, or intuition? I don't know. Basically that effect is part of that one. That first class effect you get is your Pokemon may re-roll a single appeal roll or damage roll. This ability may be used only once per contest and once per Pokemon scene. So basically either once per contest or once per combat, you can re-roll damage one time.
Okay.
For that, which is nice. This is an order, which orders require act like this is at will, but it's a standard action, so it takes up your action, which is something nice. Decisive Director. Add up subtract X from the target's initiative until the end of your next turn. X equals your charm rank doubled. So you could target a enemy Pokemon and slow them down. Sorry. Yeah. It says a Pokemon. It doesn't say like an enemy Pokemon, your Pokemon. It says a Pokemon. So I would say you could target any of them. You can either add or subtract. So they're to initiative. You either can raise your own guy's initiative or lower their initiative. But eventually, if you did want to just do, like you just did Mentor, Researcher, you didn't do like Enduring Soul, but you did Mentor, Researcher, or you just did Researcher, didn't do Mentor, did Coordinator, Enduring Soul, and then go into, what was the other specialist class? The Style Expert. You could technically grab Endurance, which are tough, which would be pretty fucking crazy. You'd be pretty hard to kill.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm going for. It's not so much like I'm going for the butterbean effect here, where it's like, okay, I might not be the hardest hitting fucking Pokemans out there, or fighter or whatever, but you're gonna tire yourself out on my guys. Like,
Webby needs a Blissey. He's gonna hate it, but he's gonna love it.
My guy will just slowly whittle you down.
No.
Like,
Webby needs a fucking fucking what's it called? God damn it.
don't say Diglett.
No, I'm not gonna say a Diglett. It's actually like it's the legit best
Cubone.
No, it's the legit best stalling Pokemon in the game.
Snorlax.
Oh, I'll tell you. I'm looking for the name right now. Just gotta find
I'll
it.
take that
Shuckle.
challenge, Devin.
Shuckle.
I'll take that challenge, Devin.
Shuckles. You want to know what Shuckles' base stats are? You can get him at level 1. You want to know his base? He doesn't evolve. You know what his base 1 level stats are, Donnie?
What?
2 HP, 1 attack, 23 defense, 1 special attack, 23 special defense, 1 speed.
He's the opposite of Blissey.
Yes.
In the same field, though.
So this guy's just impossible to hit.
He's just impossible to kill. Like, he has a bunch of defense, which I forgot how defense works in the game. I think defense either subtracts from shit.
It's like damage reduction, similar, I think.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like, so he's just hard as fuck to kill. Like, you can hit him all day, but you're not gonna do shit to him when you hit him. He just sits there like, "What's up? What's up?"
Well, he is definitely a better wall than Blissey. Blissey is only good against special attacks.
Yeah.
Wow.
But if you fucking get a special attacker against the Bliss, it's gonna be a rough day for them because Blissies are gonna have fuck tons of HP.
Yeah, Blissey's have a fucking
Well,
HP.
we're gonna end on that note, and you guys can talk to me more
26
after
HP.
this thing is done. We'll talk more about all of these various Pokemans.
Just get a party of nothing but Shuckles.
What are they called? Chuckles?
Shuckles.
Shuckles.
With an S. With an S. Here, I'm gonna send you a picture and I'm gonna send a picture in general chat.
Shuckles. All right, I'm gonna tell Austin I need a Shuckle on my list.
That's what Shuckle looks like.
Yeah, I mean it looks like a demented bear. Why not?
Really?
Listen, it looks like a gummy bear that you left in the microwave for too long and then decided to try to get a shell. I don't know. This fucking thing, what the fuck is this thing? This is a weird looking thing. Anyway, Donnie, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. I know you love the Pokemans. Can you be found on the internet?
Yes.
Where can people find you on the internet if they want to reach out and say hi?
You can find me on I think it's Twitter at Jax Forest Walker, all one word.
Well, god damn. All right. Devin, where can people find you? Hold on. Devin. We need a moment of zen with Devin, please.
You're right, we do.
Before we do your log off.
Well, in theme of our episode this week,
It's gonna be a Pokemon themed moment of zen with Devin.
hold on, I gotta get. God damn, Webby has to be typing it Pokemon instead of Pokemon. I know how to type. I know how to spell Pokemon.
And for a very specific listener out there, Donnie, is there any K-pop Pokemans?
I'm sorry, any what?
K-pop. That's still a thing. Devin, me and you still need to do an episode on that, apparently.
You're right, we do.
Just throwing that out there. I don't know anything about K-pop. That's a rabbit hole.
What is K-pop?
Most inspirational Pokemon quote from Pokemon of all time. You ready, guys? This is my moment of zen. I dedicate this. Shout out to Meowth. We do have a lot in common. The same earth, the same air, the same sky. Maybe if we started looking at what's the same instead of looking at what's different, well, who knows? There we go.
Okay.
I got you, Webby.
There you go. So Devin, where can people find you on the internets?
You guys can find me on the Twitters at DMP_Pookie. You can find me on Twitch at Who Killed Me. You can find me on eBay at I Bit My Tongue. Yeah, good times.
All right. And as always, everybody, you can find me on Twitter at JaxForestWalker, all one word, on Twitch at DMWebby, on Instagram at Patrick.Webster52. I post weird oddball pictures and memes, lots of D&D related memes and such. And on eBay at Shuckles. That was just for you. Devin, see that?
I like it.
That gave me a good chuckle.
And as always, everybody, thank you for listening, and fuck Booster Gold. I'm not ready with the outro music, but that's fine, because we always talk about the over the outro music anyway, and here it goes. Some Shuckles, huh, Devin?
Don't fuckle with Shuckles.
Don't fuckle with Shuckles. That's right. And we go.
Up out of there.